Hey, I am Chris Robin, aka at Detroit Beastie, here with Dynasty Nerds to talk a little DFS to Dynasty. And if you've watched the previous week's videos, I just go through some players who I think are good, will be good in DFS formats, and also we can send out offers in Dynasty. But mainly, I love to talk prize picks. Over and unders have always been my go-to move since I was a little boy, and now the nerds have given me a chance to bring all that to you. So hang tight as we dig through some prize picks, and I have a hot, what do the young kids say, a banger of a ticket for prize picks this week. Give me a sec, be right back. Hey, and here we are back at it. I am Chris, aka at Detroit Beastie. Got the nerd swag on. If you want any of the nerd swag, just go to the website. They have some of the most amazing clothing, and I'm going to tell you right now, I'm not putting you on. This shirt is probably one of the most comfortable shirts I've ever owned, and thankfully, Rich, the CEO, shout out to Rich, he hooked me up with a Honolulu blue and silver one, which I wait to wear on Sundays when the Lions play. So far, not good with the Lions, but you didn't come here to talk Lions football. We came here to talk DFS to Dynasty. And I have about 5 or 6 plays I think will get us over the edge, especially on prize picks. And I've already screenshotted it. It's going to be added into the video. So as we go through it, you can write this stuff down with a pen and a pencil. Or you could wait to the end of the video where I know the awesome editors of this website will probably pop it up there and you'll get to see it. Before I get into what I'd like to talk about, again, just pump up the Dynasty Nerd site. If you want anything that's related to Dynasty football, Nerds is your spot. They have the GM tool. They have so many good ideas that they've brought to life on their website. And when you get there, if you use promo code Beastie, I believe you get 10 to 15% off whatever you want to do. Maybe you want some swag, as I said, most comfortable shirt in the world, or maybe you want to learn a little bit more about being a commissioner, being of a dynasty league. And if you're a nerd like I am and you're watching this video, then make sure you get to the website, check that sucker out. It is second to none when it comes to the dynasty football community. Let's talk about week 5. Can you believe it's week 5 already? Whoop, gone by in the blink of an eye. And there's a ton of good games, right? Main slate, I believe, is 12 games. If you add in Thursday night and Sunday night and Monday night, you're going to get a few more games, obviously, here. But there's a few plays I want to touch on. Last week in the video, I mentioned Geno Smith. Geno went to Detroit. He had one heck of a game against the Lions here. And I'm going to double down on that one again. When you look at Geno, his over-under on prize pick right now is 240.5 yards. That is crazy to me because when I look at what I have for his projections, and again, Geno Smith is at New Orleans. They're 8th overall against opposing quarterbacks. And hey, Geno is going to be in all my content this week. And I know the matchup is tough, right? 8th overall, the Saints and all that. And Geno, 6'9" on FanDuel, 5'5" on DK here. But Geno, I want to see what he does for an encore, right? We saw it coming. I mean, unless you were wearing blinders on, you knew what we were going to get, a banger of a game out of Geno Smith. So to this week, coming up on Sunday, let's see what he's got for the Saints. Is this guy legit? Is he real? Is he finally back? Is he going to make amends with that high draft selection, years back out of West Virginia, if I'm not mistaken? So I have Geno Smith, 25 completions, around 275 passing yards. So that over 240.5 on prize picks, big time smash. More, as they say, more or less. I'm going more on prize picks. As we move down, let's stick with the quarterbacks and we'll talk about Zach Wilson finally back at it. He looked pretty good for the Jets last week. And when you look at what he's got going on this week, the Jets play Miami, the Dolphins. They're 30th overall against opposing quarterbacks. And I'm not going to get into the whole Tua concussion thing. That was awful. I can't believe that they were even allowed, that the NFL or whatever, the doctors, they're all fired, let Tua play again. And he had back-to-back concussions. And if I'm not a doctor, I don't pretend to be, but that second one, while you're currently going through concussion protocol, protocol to begin with can be fatal. So I wish everybody at Nerds wishes two of the best here. But when you look at Wilson, 7-2 on FanDuel, 5-3 on DK, I'd like to think that the window of opportunity to grab Wilson in Dynasty formats is still there, right? I mean, the buy time was in the first few weeks of the season or in OTAs after he, tore his meniscus. But now game one was back at it. He played well. So that window is closing very, very, very fast. And after this week, it might be closed completely unless you want to pay first round selections in 23 and 24. That's up to you. But when we look at Prize Picks so far, the over under passing yards is a joke. It's at 205.5 total yards. I mean, to me, I got Wilson 23 completions for 270 yards. So you're telling me I can smash the over only 205.5 passing yards on Prize Picks? Give me that one all day. As we go down the list, let's talk about two wide receivers that are connected with Zach Wilson. They are New York Jet wide receivers, the rookie Garrett Wilson and the second-year guy Elijah Moore. Let's concentrate on Garrett Wilson briefly. He's been awesome, outstanding. We knew what we were going to get, or the Jets knew what they were going to get out of him coming from Ohio State. And this week playing Miami, they are 28th overall against defending opposing wide receivers. Garrett Wilson, $6,000 even on FanDuel, 9-2 on DK. When we talk about Garrett Wilson in Dynasty formats, that's tough sledding. I just accepted a trade earlier today where I sent over a 2023 first round selection and a 2024 second round selection. I think this guy would, in the specific team, I think he would just add a little an oomph that I need. I got him paired with Tyreek and a couple other guys on that team. I think it's Curtis Samuel and Terry. So to me, paying that price tag, it was warranted given the team structure, and that's always got to be the case when you're looking to trade in Dynasty formats. And is Wilson worth that to you on your team? Are you going for it this year? If you're rebuilding, those draft selections, you have to hold them close. But this team, I'm ready to go. I'm ready to make a move for the championship. So I paid the 2 draft selections, and I got Garrett Wilson on my team. I have Wilson, 7 targets, 5 receptions, about 65 to 70 yards. On Prize Picks, however, they have set the over-under at 47.5 receiving yards. Again, an absolute smash. I have Garrett Wilson, 65 to 70 yards. Prize Picks has him at 74 or 47.5. That is a smash. I wish I had a gavel like Law and Order. Dun, 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 every time I say hit the over on Prize Picks. When we get to Elijah Moore, same principles apply here, right? DVP, still the same. Let me flip the page here on my bottom of the barrel notes. And when we get to Elijah Moore, 5-3 on FanDuel, $5,000 on DraftKings. When we look at Elijah, we know a lot about this kid. We saw A.J. Brown, who's now with Philly. He's balling out, hugging and kissing Elijah when he was drafted a few seasons. And for A.J. Brown to go out of his way to say Elijah Moore is special and he can be better than I can be, that's saying something. So to me, in Dynasty circles, Dynasty formats, right now would be your chance, right? I mean, there's always a chance. It's everybody's got a price, like the $1 Million Man used to say here. But Elijah Moore, go out and get this guy now, because Zach Wilson is about to take flight. Hashtag take flight, I believe, is the Jets, hashtag on social media. But Elijah Moore, 7 targets, 4 receptions, about 60 to 65 yards. On Prize Picks, his over-under is at 47.5 too. Last week, if I'm not mistaken, I had 2 Washington Commander wide receivers, Samuel and I believe it was Dotson or Terry, and both they on Prize Picks, new site, outstanding site. I love it. They're paired with we got a good partnership with them here at the Nerds, but they have Wilson and Elijah Moore both at 47.5 over under receiving yards. So I'm smashing that on the Moore pick. I'm smashing that on the on the Garrett Wilson pick. And one more guy I want to talk about, and this one is in dynasty formats. Ramondre Stevenson, he is right now the RB2 in New England. But last week I made a big push, made a big deal about the idea of the Patriots were in Green Bay, and we all know Bill Belichick. They were giving Brian Hoyer the football here. And I said, you know what? I love the idea of pairing Damian Harris and Ramondre Stevenson. They're going to just take the ball right out of Hoyer's hands. And true to form, that happened. If I'm not mistaken, from memory, Harris had 18 carries when Ramondre had 14. I don't even want to get into the receptions and the targets there, but Stevenson and Harris are the 1-2 punch, right? And Stevenson has taken on a bigger role. You love to see that. As it stands right now, New England is playing at home against the Lions. The Lions couldn't, stop a cold or punch their way out of a wet paper bag here. So to me, all the New England Patriots offensive weapons are in play, but I want to hone in on Ramondre Stevenson. $6,000 on FanDuel, only 5.5 on DK. In your window to buy Stevenson, it's not closed, but again, you have to realize what does my team look like, what do I need, and what am I willing to pay. So when it comes to Stevenson, would I sell the farm to acquire him in dynasty formats? I wouldn't go that far, but I would, knock on the doors, not kick some tires, however you want to put it, and see what the opposing owner would want for Stevenson, because right now is the time. Week 5 is upon us here, and if Stevenson keeps continuing to grow and take on a larger role here, Stevenson's tag is going to be a lot more expensive as soon as week 6. This time next week, it could be larger. When we look at Stevenson's prize pick stuff here, this is baffling as well. I'll tell you what I have for him personally. 11 to 12 carries, 60 to 65 yards, and his over-under rushing yardage total is 52.5 yards. So to me, it is a good more than, let's take the over on that one. It's not a smash like the Jets guys like Wilson and Geno Smith here. This one is going to be close, but hey, what's the saying? You got to break a few eggs to make an omelet. And this is the only prize pick selection that I have here today that is a little iffy for me, but I do believe that Stevenson gets 60 plus yards. That would be over 52.5, and we're good. We smash that and we move on. I'm going to bring out my phone really quick because I did take a screenshot of my prize pick lineup. Geno Smith, more than 240.5 passing yards. Garrett Wilson, more than 47.5 receiving yards. Zach Wilson, more than 205.5 passing yards. Ramondre Stevenson, more than 52.5 rushing yards, and then Elijah Moore to bring this sucker home, more than 47.5 receiving yards. I put $10 on this thing. If they all hit, you win $100. I might go back around to this thing, and just a shout out to Jared and Rich and Rambo, everybody here at Dynasty Nerds. As soon as that Nerds bonus money gets in my account, I'm throwing $100 on this same ticket on Prize Pick. So that's what I have for you this week. Hopefully it works out well. And I do want to say bet responsibly. I talk and talk and talk, long-winded in a way, but I have a point here. But I want to tell folks, bet responsibly, okay? I give you this ticket, and I give you these over-unders here. I don't want folks mad at me when they put $100 on it, $50 on it, and it doesn't hit. This is what I'm doing. You're able to bet and use the money that you feel is necessary and comfortable. Don't bet. Don't spend money that you don't have to lose. Stay within your means here. So if it's $5, it's $5. If it's $100, then God bless. But to me, this ticket is a no-brainer smash across the board. So before I split, just make sure you get to the website, Dynasty Nerds. When you get there, you want to sign up monthly, yearly. I mean, they have a ton of packages. Use promo code Beastie, and you'll get a little bit off the back end of that thing. I believe 10 or 15%. So until I see you this time next week, after this ticket cashes and we win, we'll have a little bit more money to play with on Prize Picks. We'll have a little bit more Dynasty conversation to be had. So until I see you then, be good, be safe, and have a fantastic rest of the week and a great week 4. See you later.